did you explain to me how you learned what Fundrise was in the context of our conversation today? So what were the funnels, right?
Absolutely. And I think, this really sort of helps even inform our funnels, which we'll talk more about in a second. Is what I did is I think what a lot of people do. So I immediately just sort of went on the search and the hunt for everything I could find online. And I had a couple of friends who I knew who had invested with Fundrise that I reached out to and said, hey, what is this thing? And then I just read everything I could from sort of classic journalism pieces, whether it was CNBC or, Yahoo Finance or wherever, to Reddit and forums, to reviews by sites like Investor Junkie and Financial Samurai, that sort of thing. And so I just read as much as I could, and then went to fundrise.com. All of that pretty much before ever going to fundrise.com, which I think is maybe a big sort of secret tip for everyone out there. But it's what people are saying about you that often matters a lot more than what you're saying about yourself.
Right. That is interesting, isn't it? So the primary source of information for you was not necessarily the Fundrise site. It was everything in the ecosystem that is online that they've put out or that people have written about them.
Exactly. Yeah. I think going to fundrise.com and then seeing how they describe themselves at that point, I was personally more or less assessing their ability to tell their own story and less looking for actual substantive information, because I figure if other people aren't already talking about you and don't already know your story, then there's probably something wrong. And so, yeah, I spend most of my time sort of like, I think, buying a car now, where most of the time is spent not at the dealership, it's spent outside the dealership. And you only go there to buy,
So Jon, do you think that's how people actually do research these days? Is that, how people understand opportunities, do you think?
Absolutely. I think any sort of industry, whether it's retail or, buying a car, like I just mentioned, or buying a house, the vast majority of the consumer's time is spent off property. They're doing their own research. That's why influencers have been such a major force in retail, especially these days, is people know what they want to buy before they ever get to the store. We live in this research economy now where information is everywhere. And so I think it's a really critical thing for people to understand, because if it's just on your property, it doesn't have the same weight as someone saying something about you.